Spencer, please shut up. Amazon Prime comes like 3 times a day, and you spaz every time. Hey, my name is Charlie, and I'm here with my son Graydon, and this is a 4K talk show. I just got a new camera, and I wanted to test it out. Oh man, he just bombed it everywhere. Yeah, I'm not going to stop this, so we're just going to roll in it. Live. I just got a Sony 4K camera from eBay. Came from a pawn shop that was actually on the other side of the state. I probably could have drove there. But I figured I'd give it a shot, and so far so good, even though it smells like secondhand smoke, which is kind of nasty. Hoping the battery works. It's plugged in right now, and hopefully we're charging. So yeah, this is the 4K talk show. I have this on here, which I was hoping I had focus control on here, but it doesn't look like I do. Yeah, I don't. I can zoom though. I don't know why I'd want, but, and I'm hoping we're in focus, because I'm probably just gonna upload this raw, maybe with some segments of me running and gunning with it. But this is my son nephew. My wife took the girl to Portage. Wait, did I say this is my son or my nephew? I don't know what I said. This is my nephew. No, this is my son Graydon, fruit of my loins. And I'm going to turn his piano on so he can be my MC. So things to discuss. Parenting, it's going okay. This kid's in a helmet, and he doesn't really like it, but he's adjusting better than I would. And he's been kind of fussy today, but that's okay. Today we went to pick up this camera from the post office, and we also went to a video game retro sale, which was good, but it was tough with their double stroller to get around, but it was nice. Saw my buddy from Classic Arcade there. He was just selling pop. He didn't bring any of his arcade machines. So, to fill this for content, I figured I'd go through some of the recent stuff I've played, watched, and seen. I used to do lukewarm reviews after each of these, and I should probably get back into it. Video games. I beat the game Gears of War 5. It was a great Gears of War game. Some small evolutions to formula. I really enjoyed it. I was hoping my friends would have gotten to Horde mode, but it would have had to been like after 9 p.m. each night, after these guys go to sleep, but they didn't, so I'm not really playing that. I'm hoping Gears of War continues to evolve and stays relevant, because I think it has a cool story, and I think it'll make a really good movie if they ever get their stuff together. Yeah? That was my first game that I beat since these guys have been born, so that was kind of cool. Graphics are great on the Xbox One X, and yeah, that was a Game Pass game. I don't know if I would have played or bought it unless it had a significant discount. But Game Pass, I got that for $1 a month for 2 years, and so that was the first one that I played all the way through. The second video game is called Outer Worlds. It's just a tighter and much less buggy Fallout. I was really into it for like the first quarter of it, and then I think it was either what I was looking for or whatever. I just started skipping more and more of the dialogue, even though it was all good. And I beat it. The combat was a little easy until the final boss. I tell myself I'm gonna max out one stat in these games, and I never do. I always split it between multiple, but I got out a lot of stuff because my speech was high. And right now, after that, I've been looking for my next game, and I just started playing the game Control, which I bought on Black Friday. And yeah, so far it's like a Twin Peaks meets Max Payne, because they love Twin Peaks type stuff, and they also made Max Payne. Shooting isn't as tight as I'd like it to be, but maybe after I upgrade my character, it'll be better. So that is it for video games. This Black Friday, I also bought Overcooked 2, which is like a cooking game. I don't think I'll play that outside of a party setting, but yeah. And then also, transitioning Black Friday purchases, I bought some white undershirts. I bought this camera off eBay. It had a $200 price drop in real stores, but I still got it for like $200 less with taxes on this. So as long as it works, I'm good. And if it doesn't, I'm kind of screwed. But I'll hold off my positive feedback until I shoot around with it for a bit. Streaming reviews. I have watched 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, 4 episodes of The Morning Show, and I just finished watching The Irishman. So I'll go through those. Apple TV. They have a weird... it's just a weird service because it doesn't have anything that's not new. And I feel like they could have bought the Miramax library for less than the cost of The Morning Show, and just had that in addition to like maybe half the amount of new stuff, and felt like a fleshed out service. But they didn't. So now they got 5 shows and 3 kids shows, and it just feels kind of barren. My wife just got a new iPhone, so I think we're getting it for free for a year once we hook that up. So I'll see what else they got. That C show looks kind of awful, but I'll try it. Morning Show. They spent a lot of money on it. They have a ton of huge actors. My son is currently making noise at the dog, and the dog is mad because I yelled at him for barking at the Amazon Prime guy. And the actors don't have enough to do because there's too many awesome ones. It wants to be like soapy but classy. It wants to be House of Cards but in a Today Show type atmosphere, and it's not. It's still good though. Jennifer Aniston's really good. Reese Witherspoon, I feel like this is gonna sound sexist. She's too old to be playing this type of role. Like she could still be this person, but like this hot young thing coming in to revitalize a show. She's less than 10 years younger than Jennifer Aniston. I will stick with it. I'm kind of taking a break from it, but I will stick with it. It got better as it went on, and I love like show business type stuff. Like I watched every episode of Studio 60 in the Sunset Strip, so I'm in. And if you like showbiz type stuff and like just kind of like just soapy stuff that wants to be classy, I recommend it. Next up, Mandalorian, the Baby Yoda show. I've seen 2 episodes. It seems inconsequential, which is tough for me to say because I want more stuff that doesn't involve a Skywalker and the big stuff in Star Wars. I want them to flesh out the weirder parts of the universe, but they're shooting it like so spare and classy that like it's shot like a Star Wars movie, which is awesome, and the budget like holds up, but you're following a bounty hunter who has a weird religion or type of like person he is, but they shoot it with so much gravitas that it doesn't really hold up. And they got this guy saying like 5 words an episode. I'm hoping that's not the actor under the suit, because just get a stunt guy. But everything is classy about it, but it just feels a disconnect because it's inconsequential. And he finds Baby Yoda at the end of the first episode, and I'm sure it'll be a big deal. I don't think it's actually Yoda, but something feels off. I'm going to stick with it. And it's nothing for I think the problems are more with my expectation of the show than what the show actually is. Finally, I watched The Irishman. I want Netflix to keep making movies. I've seen a lot of their lower budget stuff. I like their movies more than, like, a lot of their movies they just do and they're good enough. But that's good enough. And they're filling in gaps where they're not getting in theaters, maybe because of Netflix. So I just watched The Perfection, which is just this nutty horror / psychological thriller with Allison Williams from Get Out and Girls. It just goes crazy. And I feel like Netflix was like, fine, do it. You got like 2 stars. Okay, let's do it. You can shoot half of it in China. Fine. And then they just went like so weird with it and trashy with it. And I kind of like that. But The Irishman's like the opposite of that. That's like Netflix trying their best to be classy. I'm hoping this is in focus. Trying their best to be classy. and it works. It's just meandering. It's over 3.5 hours, I think. That's Nora down there. It's 3.5 hours. It's Robert De Niro playing like a span of, I believe, 40 years. And you can't really tell because they don't try to de-age him that much. Like, they do a lot of digital stuff on his face, but the rest of his body looks the same. Same with everybody else in it. Joe Pesci was great, but it just was episodic. And it didn't really have a point aside from just seeing how pathetic this guy's life was. And Al Pacino was Jimmy Hoffa, and he's going way over the top. My cat's now rubbing against the... Yep, she's rubbing against the tripod. Nora, knock it off. Joe Pesci was great. Robert De Niro was Robert De Niro. Al Pacino was Al Pacino. But everything, again, it's kind of like The Mandalorian. Like, it was class and it was expensive. But I don't know if the premise wasn't worth it. Oh man, I forgot his name. The Irishman is like a liar. Like, all of his killings are unverified. Like, and so since, like, this guy's a liar, they could have put more of a movie around it and made it more like a Goodfellas. Like, I don't want it to be Goodfellas, but they could have put a theme around it. All my life I wanted to be a gangster. Like, all this guy's life, he just wanted to follow orders and have a great life. And, like, it's just a movie of him following orders. And the mob stuff is fine. Ooh. The mob stuff is fine, but, yeah. So, I'm glad I watched it. It is crazy to see a Martin Scorsese movie showing up on your streaming service. If it wins Best Picture, I don't know. Man, every other movie must have really stunk this year, because I haven't really seen too many contenders. But it doesn't deserve any major Oscars. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I didn't pay to see it. I'm glad I could watch it in like I think I watched it over 3 nights, about an hour a night. Had this guy in my lap trying to get him to sleep most of the time. So that is my streaming movie review. I don't know what else I have to talk about. This guy is pretty fun, and he's pretty fussy today, and I hope he's in focus because I put it on manual because I thought I could control it with my phone. I'm going to shoot around just to cut this up a little bit, and if you watch this, please comment with the worst sounding streaming service you could imagine.